Okay, I'm back. Hopefully this time it works and hopefully Motshidisi can see me and all of you can see me. Let me send her an invite to join again and then we can get cracking.
Yeah, that's much better. How are you?
Awesome, thanks. I'm great and how are you doing?
I'm good. I even put the hoops on for you.
I see that look more nice and fly. By the way, oh my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure. So how has your day been?
Busy. Had to get the hair did because it was starting to shrink and go dry and everything, so I needed some treatment. But it's
Yeah,
been a good one. It's a glorious day in Joburg. It was
is it?
absolutely stunning. Yeah, it was a day to be out and about.
Yeah,
So I just went to the hair salon and came back home to do
that's
some
awesome.
admin things. Yeah.
That's
How are
awesome.
you?
Well, I'm great, thank you. I'm based in Durban, although I'm from Johannesburg. Weather today was offish. I mean, the weekend was lovely. Friday and Saturday was nice weather, and then Sunday
Yeah.
became cool on Sunday. And then today it was a bit gloomy, but it was all right. It's typical Durban weather. It's like on and off. It just
Yeah.
changes whenever it wants to change, you know?
It was asking you to give us a chance as well. Not just when swamped.
Right, right. But
Yeah.
Teresa, thank you so much yet again for taking out your time on a Monday evening to chat with me. I'm so excited, and I just feel like this is such a blessing because I've been such a fan of yours for a long time.
Thank
So I'm
you.
so humbled and like I'm appreciative that you decided to accept my invite.
Got
So
you.
I'm really thankful for that, and thanks to everyone for joining the conversation as well. I really appreciate it. So let's get right into it. Motshidisi Mohono, where did you grow up and how was your upbringing? For people that don't know.
I grew up in Katlehong on the East Rand. It's a hood. Kokas. It's like proper Kasi, part of Katoras, which is Katlehong, Togoza, Foslo. And I had a great upbringing, the firstborn of three. I do have two older sisters, and I was the usual firstborn leader, sometimes bullish, sometimes. Um,
Good.
but you'd always find me in the street having a good time with my friends, things like I was the playful child, kusha, martini, everything, and I was good at everything. I wanted to beat everyone at everything. Also a great student, a really good learner at school as well. So like my life as a child was literally school and coming home to have a good time with my friends and my family. So yeah, great
So you were
upbringing.
always like a very competitive person growing up.
Not competitive per se. I just wanted to be my very best. I just wanted
Uh,
to be I was always just pushing myself a little bit further, a
yeah,
little bit further. Yeah,
that's
so I
important.
always
Yeah.
made sure that my grades were good. My parents were never complaining about my schoolwork, that kind of thing. Maybe overachiever in high school when I started to realize that I'm not the only smart kid in the block. Now I've got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
step it up a notch.
yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely loved my upbringing.
And when did your like passion for sports really develop? Have you always been someone that was interested in sports? Was it something that you discovered that you were really great at or passionate about at a later stage in your life, or were you able to identify that, you know what, I really love sports from a young age?
That's a really good question. I'm actually not sure when it dawned on me. Because we watched football with my dad when we were younger. I mean, he's the one that really introduced us to the world of sport, and we'd be
Uh,
screaming at the TV with him while we were still toddlers. Probably primary school when I started playing netball because I
mm,
enjoyed it so much. But
mm,
even then, I didn't think of myself as like this world champion netball player. I was just part of the team with my friends and would win some and lose some. That was the thing for me.
yeah.
Learned about cricket, high school, played hockey. Maybe that's when my competitive edge started, particularly playing
Mm,
A team in under 15s.
yeah.
That's when it started to be instilled in me that hey, there's another stepping stone. There's provincial, there's national. You could be gunning for so much more than you are right now. But I don't know, like I never saw myself as an athletic person. I think it's also because of the way
Mm,
my body developed.
mm-hmm.
I was the girl with the booty and like I always wanted to hide away and hide my body. So I never wanted to be at the forefront of sporting things necessarily. And then I lost my place in the A team, played B team in under 16s, then went back to netball. So it was never in the stars for me to be an athletic superstar.
Oh.
But I enjoyed the sport. I enjoyed watching sport. And I won't lie, even then, if you had told me I'll be a sports presenter one day, I'd never have believed you. I was going to be an accountant. I was going to be an accountant girl. I was going to be rich, counting other people's coins while making my own coins. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to take care of my parents. I wanted to take care of my family. I had no business doing entertainment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you like being a sports presenter as entertainment?
I viewed it as part of entertainment. I viewed presenting anything on television, anything on radio. I thought this is just fun. This is great. And even as a child, I thought I would love to do this. I'd love to be on radio. I'd love to be on TV. But in high school, I was like, I want to be rich. How can we get rich? What am I really good at? I was good at numbers and I was good at biology. So I was like, you're either going to be a doctor, which I didn't want to do anymore. My mom's a nurse and I wanted to be a doctor when I was younger. But I just hate the fragrance of the hospital. I hate how it smells. It smells like sanitizer and sometimes death and bright lights, and I hated it. So I studied to be an accountant.
Damn, that's interesting. I would have never ever guessed that, because I think often we just assume that, okay, this person is in the sports industry or this person is in the makeup and beauty industry. You just think that that's always been their passion and that's always been the direction that they wanted to go in terms of career.
Not at all. I had another conversation with Lerato Shabalala the other day, and she's like, it seems God was always pulling you towards broadcasting. And that's how it feels actually in hindsight, because I'm not even lying. It was not my personal first choice until I got to university.
That's insane. And then when you got to university, that's when you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. How were you able to realize that? How did you all of a sudden make that switch to go, no, actually, I don't want to just be like an accountant anymore. This is what I want to do now. How did you get there?
So it didn't even
at a young age, like you get to university, there's so many options, like you're bombarded by all these different things. You're at like a weird age and stage or phase in your life. You're like, what do I really want from life? What do I really want to do? How are you able to go, this is the one for me?
Isn't it weird that in hindsight you look at yourself and you realize just how young, even in your mind, you were to make such a big decision? Always like, I should have taken a break or something. But even then, I still didn't know. I didn't know I was going to be in broadcasting. I studied accounting, and in my first year, I just felt I had too much time off. I was always a busy child. So school, and then after school, it's sports, it's choir, it's something, So I was always home late. And now I have all this time to muck about, and I was like, I don't want to muck about. So around August, UJFM had auditions, and I was like, okay, let me go. But I was the urban kid, not the rock kid, and they were rock stations back then. So I'm out there like, this is Rihanna, I'm Marilla, hanging out with Jay-Z, and they're like, that's not what we want. And then they gave me a news bulletin, and they were like, read this. So I read it, and I was like, this is nice. And they're like, she sounds nice. Let's give it a shot. So I started reading news on the breakfast show with Nick V. And then I was like, I'm on radio. I'd been listening to YFM my whole childhood, a little bit of Five, a little bit of High Fault, So radio was always also part of our daily routine. I mean, on Saturdays, I remember when we cleaned the house, we'd have YFM on full blast, open all of the windows, and we were the corner house. So the Mohono kids are awake. Windows open, door open, jamming YFM the whole day. So I was like, I'm on radio. I can do this. I can finally do this. And then the next year, 2008, why we're looking for a weekend newsreader. So I went to those auditions. And even the editor, Zugile Majova, the editor at the time, was like, you're an accounting student. You have no business being in radio. And I'm like, dude, give me a shot. I want to take myself off of my parents' financial responsibility list. I want to be my own woman. I want to be independent. I want to take care of myself. Give me a shot. I'll show you what I can do. And he was like, okay, let's see what you can do. And that's when I started. And I worked in the newsroom on weekends. Obviously, it's very sports geared, and other weekend news that's happening, big news, of course. And then when I moved on to midweek, that's when I was entrenched in the newsroom. And I was not doing sports even then. I was doing news. I was
So when
compiling
exactly?
news bulletins.
That's crazy. And was that something that you really enjoyed at the time? Or were you
I
still like,
loved it.
oh,
I absolutely enjoyed it. Lots of pressure. You'd be surprised what it takes to put together a new bulletin. So every hour you have to update the story, new angle, breaking news. Sometimes things are breaking at 5 to the hour. Now someone has to write the story, someone has to call a source, and when that person is running back into the newsroom, someone else is cutting that sound, making sure. Sometimes I'd be reading stories and they're refreshing as I'm reading, line, line,
wow.
line, line, and
That's
then
a lot
play
of
the clip,
pressure.
and then why do you think
That's
I'm
a lot
so
of
cool?
pressure.
Why do you think I'm so cool, calm, and collected? I
Like
learned
people think that,
at the
oh,
best
I can
place.
do radio, it's easy, and they think it's hard. It's actually
No,
very, very
man.
difficult.
It's
You
it's
really need
and
to know how to think and just roll with the punches and get going.
and surmise stories, know what's big, know what's newsworthy, know what your listener wants to listen to. That's also very, very important. So yeah, that was really my ground. But it was in 2011. 2011 is when the switch really happened. We're always a young
Okay.
newsroom, always about sport, would always banter about sport. And woe to you if your team lost or were up to some shenanigans. That's when you're really going to feel the brunt of the newsroom. But in 2011, Tatomiyeng left to go and join Super Sports. And I just decided that, hey, I'd like to take over the sports desk. And my editor was like, okay, show me
Go for
what you
it.
can do. Yeah.
And
2011
then
was a
what?
year of a lot of risks for me. That's when I took a few risks and I was like, let's see what happens. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Oh, that's such an interesting story. I was actually going to ask you, like, what is your unique power story? But you've just told me so many amazing stories that are one entertaining and so like insightful. Like it really
Mm,
makes me understand you better as a human being. You know,
yeah.
um, they're interesting stories. Oh my goodness! So then, when you then got into sports broadcasting, what is the one thing that you're like, I wasn't expecting this. Like, no one told me about this. Like, what is that one thing you were like, okay, this is a little bit like it shocked you. It shocked you, but you were able to overcome it. Whether it shocked you in a good way or a negative way, what is that one thing that a lot of people don't know about the industry that you're in that can literally shock a person and go, do I really want to continue doing this or
Yeah.
not?
So radio for me was it was the easy transition because I'm doing exactly what I had been doing for 3 years. Now my subject matter is different. My subject matter now is
Yeah,
sports. So still compiling in the same way, still the same integrity, still the same excellence, still the same sort of sources. Now I just have to expand my territory as
yeah,
far as sport is concerned. Television was
yes.
where I was like, ah. It's like this. um, I auditioned for Lady Raga. I had never done television in my life, but I had 3.5 years broadcast experience. So I could
Yeah,
hold a conversation, I could speak, I could banter. Um, but it was really being in the studio, lights are on, cameras are rolling.
yes.
You have your earpiece on, you can hear the director, but you can hear your producer, you can hear their conversations in the control room with all of
Oh
the
my
other
goodness.
technicians, from vision mixers to graphic operators to video technicians, lighting, audio. They have their own thing going on, and now you have to
Yeah,
learn to discern what's your command and what's a command for someone else. And I think that's where I was like, okay, television is
this
on
is
a new level because I had to
yeah.
learn to tune out everyone's voice and only hear my director. Only hear, okay,
Mm.
Mots, we're ready. Turn to camera 5. Okay, we're going to this insert. Okay, the insert is not ready. Wait, you need to hold for a minute. Okay, talk about this and this and this. Don't forget to highlight that. Don't forget to bring in this. So it takes a while, but you
No,
know,
that's
every single production makes you better and better and better, and you get used to it. You get used to that environment. You get used to the bright lights. The cameras no longer scare you. I remember my producer Erin Ferreira for the 2011 Rugby World Cup. I did Super Sport Superfan. And she was like, look at the camera and pretend it's like your mom or a very good friend, your mom or dad or a very good friend, and just tell
yeah.
them what's happening. Just talk to
Mm.
them, small little
Mm.
tweaks that I had to make to become a
Mm.
better TV presenter.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's a skill on its own. Hey, like
Yeah.
I respect people that are in that industry. Television is very difficult, and I think as an outsider looking in, as a viewer watching, you're like, oh, I can do this. It's just a
No.
teleprompter, and I've got
There
the
is no
personality. You
teleprompter.
know,
There
you
is
know.
no teleprompter.
And
I
you
don't.
see, people, it's such
Mm,
a misunderstood idea because we all
yeah.
just assume that you just rock up there looking beautiful and
No.
you learn a script, and it's like no, it doesn't operate like that. And I think that's why a lot of young kids misunderstand the concept of being a television presenter. They think it's an easy job, and it's not. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because you've been in the industry for a long time, and I respect also like the target market that you are providing the service for. I mean, sports is already on its own, I feel, a bit of a challenge, people might
Yeah.
say, for females, especially because we get a lot of like um, questions like why would a female know more about sports than a man. It's always been an industry where it's like, men they tend to be chauvinistic and sarcastic, and they don't believe females at sports broadcasters and presenters, and it's
Yeah.
like it's nonsense, obviously, because I mean it's obviously a chauvinistic and ignorant thing to think, but unfortunately that's just how society is. And the fact that you were able to get into the industry and be amazing at it, and be so consistently amazing at it, is very inspiring. And be a black female as well. And for me, I feel like people like yourself should be exposed to the young girls, to teenagers.
Yeah.
And because I feel like a lot of the world that we live in today, it almost seems like young girls want to be in the same industries over and over and over again. I don't know if it's a social media thing. I don't know if it's a global thing, but that's what I'm seeing. And I just felt like talking to you would be amazing, because a lot of young girls would look at this conversation or be part of the conversation and go, oh my goodness, that's how being a sports broadcaster really is,
Yeah.
because they don't always get told this information, you know?
That's why exposure is so important,
Yeah,
because you become what you see. You
yeah,
become what you see, and you become what you're exposed to. So we need to
yes,
expose young girls and young women to these different avenues. I remember I ran a mentorship competition 2 years ago, and I
yeah,
brought the girls in on the final day of Super Sport Blitz, and we were
yes,
covering specifically the FIFA World Cup. So we did Blitz live. So they got
yes.
to be on the set with me for the entire show, half an hour before the show, the entire show, and then just a little bit after the show. And what I wanted to show them is that it's not just the presenter. There are so
Mm,
many other avenues. You can direct, you
mm,
can produce, you can be an
mm,
executive producer, and that's at one of the highest management levels. You can
yes,
vision mix, you can be a graphics operator, you can be a video technician, you can be an audio technician, you can do lighting, you can be a camera woman. There is
yes,
so much opportunity in television.
yes,
It's not just about the person in front of camera. And
yes.
the opportunity to broaden your horizon, have an amazing career, and make a whole lot of money and have a whole lot of influence is just as powerful behind the camera as it is
Mm,
in front of camera. See,
mm,
so that's why we need to constantly be exposing young girls and young women to
yes,
different jobs. We're not
yes,
aspiring to just be lawyers and nurses and
yes,
teachers. And now there's this whole creative space that we can work in. There's the
yeah,
sporting space that we can work in. There's
yeah,
there's medicine that we can, and
yeah,
science and
yes.
astrology and
And
technology.
aviation, and
And the thing is to just make sure that we're taking our little girls out. Go and expose them. Go take them.
mhm,
Put them in your offices. Put them in industry where they don't usually see this, so that their minds
mm,
can be open to the
mhm,
possibilities. Yeah.
mhm. I 100% agree with that. And then what's it like? Do you ever encounter like problems with leading men? Because yes, you're in such a male dominated industry. And how do you overcome those obstacles when you now have to lead men?
No, I do not. And I'll tell you, I learned that I will never be one of the boys.
Uh,
Carol Shabalala had this conversation with me where she was like, you have to know that you'll never be one of the boys. You'll never be a former player. You'll never be a former coach. All you are is Motshidisi Mohono. So what is it about you? What is it your X factor? What is it that you bring to the table that is exceptional? So work on that. Work on your craft. Work on being the best presenter. Don't try to be one of them. Be the best of you. And that's what I put my mind, my time, and my investment, my actual money, my actual resources into refining my craft for me, being a better broadcaster for myself, and not allowing that to be dictated by the people that I work with, because they are so many years ahead of me, a lot of them. Which is why I giggle sometimes when the guys that have been, I mean, you've got John Smith, for example, a World Cup winning captain. That's like, Mats, you're creme de la creme as far as broadcasting is concerned. That's a huge compliment, because now he understands that we're on this field together. He is par excellence on the panel. He's par excellence in commentary, but he recognizes that no one anchors and presents like Mats. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think I would have reached that had I tried to be one of them instead of being the best of me. Yeah. That's
amazing advice. And I see that my friend Kanye has a question. She says, formal education or raw talents and lack of something, which is more useful and valuable?
That's a tough one to answer, because I just came in as a raw talent. I had not studied broadcasting Hohang. I had never done it before. All I do is work hard. I observe, I assimilate, I work hard, and then I refine it for myself to be at the best at it for myself. That is why I was good. But I always say that if you want to have maybe like, that extra footing, do study it. Do study it, because then you will get into the spaces a lot quicker. You'll be exposed to it a lot quicker. I mean, for example, if you study it after, you're already exposed to film, the creating of film, the different jobs in the film industry, from set designing all the way to directing. You're exposed to that. So formal education gives you that added extra. But I find even just coming in as a raw talent, and I'm a raw talent story, so I speak for myself when I say, for me, raw talent and just having that added edge of having done radio, that's what made me efficient at first and then brilliant later. Yeah.
Thing to mention, because if you are coming in as raw talent, it's also raw talent it needs to be backed up with work ethic, hard work, really hard work. Because already you've had the blessing and privilege to be accepted by that industry, and you've been given a chance to bring it, So, and I just hope that a lot of young people also understand that aspect of, if you
you gotta grind.
You gotta grind. Like, you really, and you have to spend your spare time educating yourself even further, learning about your industry even further. And when you pitch up at work, you must be ready to work, because I mean, that's an amazing opportunity that gets handed to you, and it's the hard work is a really important aspect of it. It's hard work, the hours go into it, and you're constantly learning and developing and growing.
I think my first 6 years of radio, I never spent December holidays not working. I'd work throughout the holidays, when I Christmas, when I Boxing Day, when I New Year, all of. First 6 years, I think I had my first Christmas 2013-ish. That was the first Christmas where I was not working. You give all of it up. You have no semblance of public holidays. You hardly see your family on the weekend. You almost never at family gatherings. You know? It's a big sacrifice, because when everyone else is resting, you are working. And then you spend the rest of the week processing, so reviewing, previewing, getting ready for the next weekend. So you spend a lot of time away from family and away from the people that you love. But I've been blessed that through the years, as I've gotten older, as I've cemented myself even more, I've been able to now make time and make space and make room for family. So that's another important, but you must work hard. You must work hard. You know, there are a lot of talented people in this world that are nowhere because they don't work hard. Talent is going to get you through the door. Talent is going to get you at the table. But if you don't work hard, the person who's less talented than you is going to kick your ass for free. You've got to work hard. You've got to work hard. And the investment is not just in the hard work. You've got to invest in your growth mentally, physically. Is your mind clear? Are you learning new things? Are you going on courses? Are you sitting with producers and directors? Hi guys, how can I get better? EP, how can I get better? You know, sit with seasoned broadcasters. How can I get better? Cameramen. Dude, how should I stand? Where should I look? How should I hold the mic? Which hand should I use to hold the mic? When I open up a conversation, how should I start it? How do you soften up an interviewee? How, you know, players are running off exhausted, annoyed, irritated. They don't want to talk to the press. How do I make them listen up quickly? Because I only have 2 minutes to captivate them, and they only have 2 minutes to captivate the audience. How do I make that transition easier for them? There's so much. But if you don't invest in that, and if you don't put in the time to get better, the person who you think is not talented is going to work 10 times harder than you, and it's going to take you out. Work hard. And it's crazy hours. There are 3 a.m. call times, 2 a.m. call times. Like we woke up in Japan. We were up at 2 to be at work at 3, to work until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You're exhausted, but you leave all of it in studio. And those are the kinds of people that do well in this business. Yeah.
Yo, thanks so much for sharing that information. Now, that's important information right there. Because a lot of people get into many industries not knowing what the hell is expected of them and how things go down once you're there, you know? And then another question I have for you is, how do you think we as women can conquer, like, together? You know, I know this is a question that you've probably been asked a lot of times, but for me, I would like to know your perspective on it right now in 2020, how women can literally work together and conquer together.
Collaboration. Just work together. You have the extra information, share the extra information.
Yeah.
Open yourself up so people can come to you, you know. You should be able to come to me and be like, CD, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm like, oh, okay, try this, try that, try the other. Maybe it can work for you, maybe not. You know, if we're constantly feeding one another and the collaboration is not just in you and I working together on a project. It's also, I feel like, putting each other on, where maybe I get a call for a gig and I know I can't do it because I'm either busy or I don't have the capacity. What would it cost me to pass it on to you?
Yeah. Wow. I'm so glad that's true.
Yeah, and just to be like, listen, why don't y'all highlight Power Queens today? They got the plug, they know what they're doing. Give them the gig. I won't be able to, or I can't, or whatever. Pass on the work. Open up opportunity. If there's an opportunity you know about, tell TD, tell Tandy, tell someone that you know has the capacity to do that job. And that's how we start to support each other. Now I'm all about opportunity that is also going to equal to economic emancipation. Financially, I want women to be well. I want young women to be well, you know. But you've got, I don't have to it costs me nothing to mention your name in a room.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like a lot of that kind of mentality we're not seeing that enough. I don't know what it is.
No, it's around. No. Let's not put each other down. It is definitely around. You know what the problem is? We cannot always see life from lack. When you have a lack mentality, you think that your opportunity is the only opportunity. You don't feel that there's enough for all of us. I don't think like that. When I get a call and it's like, can you do this? And I'm like, what? It's football? No. I know this person and this person and this person and this person and this person. Try them.
Yes.
It costs me nothing.
Nothing. And that's literally the only way we are going to conquer powerfully together.
Yes,
you know, putting each other on.
Yes, ma'am.
For me, that's a direct reflection of me supporting TV, me reflecting this, supporting this person and that person and that person. And it's such a beautiful thing to see people winning, like to just see women killing the game. Whatever industry that you are in, whatever career path that you are on, it is nice to be like, yo, Motshidisi did this and she did well there, and I saw this Power Queen do this and she killed it there. Like, it's a beautiful thing. It's something that makes me just go, oh man, women are doing amazing things out there, and we're
And
happy for each other, you know?
And there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by what you hear in the streets. Don't be fooled by what you see.
Yeah,
Guy, thing. There's a lot of it. We're always trying to put each other on. Maybe the
I love
opportunities
it.
right now are still small, and that's okay. But the more things are
Mm,
opening up, the more you're hearing more women's names in rooms where women haven't even stepped in. More women
yeah.
sitting at the table and saying, I know a woman. I know this lady. I know this girl. I know someone who can do that and who will do it really, really well. Guys, there is abundance. And when you
Hey,
think from a place of abundance, when you know that there is more than enough, it costs you nothing to
nothing.
put someone else on. And if you know you don't have the capacity, me, I know myself, eh?
Hey, you're not
I'm
gonna tell me
very,
what's
very aware of myself. I'm not trying to pitch for a client and not be able to get the job done. But if I
you
know that you
know?
can get the job done, if I know that Maputi can do it, if I know that Honey Kanye can do it,
Exactly. Exactly.
my
I
opportunity
freaking
will
love that.
come. And I can live in the hope that, hey, maybe Honey Kanye and maybe Maputi will have my back in the next thing and in the next gig that
Exactly.
comes up, etc. Yeah. But like it's just setting our minds free from thinking that it's the small. It's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh
not.
wow, man! I thank you so much for this conversation. I have learned so much. I'm so inspired, and you're such a dope person. Oh my goodness, like you're such a cool person, and I'm so glad that you were willing to share such important information about your industry. I'm
Yeah.
really appreciating that. It's been awesome, and I just want to thank everyone also for joining the conversation. It's now come to an end. I wish you could continue.
Aww.
Enjoyed myself in cities. I'm not gonna lie, like you are freaking dope.
I got 10 minutes. What else do you want to know?
We should do this again sometime. You know, we should do this
No, we
again
should.
sometime.
We
It was
should.
so fun. It made me feel so
Mm.
relaxed and so free. And I just appreciate your honesty. Like, I really do. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem. I appreciate your energy as well. Thank you so much for having me. And
Thank
to
you.
everybody that joined us, thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for the love that you're always showing me. And yeah, guys, our dreams are valid and they deserve every inch of our investment, you know,
100%.
whatever it is. And if you don't know what it is you want to do, expose yourself to more things.
Mm, mm,
Go out to I don't know, a manufacturer and go sit and
yeah,
watch what they do and
yeah.
decide, is this for me? If you think you want to do law, go sit at a law firm during the school holidays
Mm,
and really take it in and be like, is this what I want to do all day long?
mm,
Go to court,
mm,
go and intern at the SABC or at
mm.
Supersport or wherever you find
Yeah,
yourself.
and
Go to
also
the
don't think
spaces
that
when you want to
something's beneath
be.
you. I never
No,
think that any
man.
job is beneath you. You're gonna
No,
learn.
man.
You're going to learn from everything that you encounter in life, big or small. Never ever think that something is beneath you. And I think that's where sometimes people get blocked or lost, and opportunities don't always happen the way that they want to happen or arise at the time they want them to happen because we're like, oh no, I can't do that. Or and also don't doubt yourself. I feel like you said, just
Oh,
open your mind and expose yourself to different
yeah.
things because you just never know, you know?
Yeah. And every single job
Yeah.
will take you to the next level. I mean, I worked as a waiter when I was younger.
Yes.
It taught me about people, that people are different.
Yeah.
Some people are just going to treat you like nonsense just because.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do
Yeah.
with you, you know. So you learn your people skills. You learn how to hustle. You learn how to have grit, how to persevere, how to be patient, how to wait
Mm-hmm.
for things, and how to be happy while waiting, you know, because what
Yes.
kind of and by waiting I mean like waiting for your next or for things to pop or waiting for your dream to come true.
Yes.
So
Yes.
don't think of any opportunity as being a small moment because it's always going
Hmm.
to be a teachable moment. It's like any other
Mm-hmm.
experience in life. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really serious on this one. You know, invest in whatever your dream is. Pray about what that investment will look like or needs to look like, and and
Yeah.
and chase after it and be authentic. You know, pick something
Yeah.
that you know you can embody easily. You know, I am great at something I didn't even know I was great at. Like literally, this is a gift from
Mm-hmm.
God. Like I can't
Yes.
even go manufacture this at a shop. It's a thing I do with the least amount of effort. I just know how to ease into it, and whatever that is for you, be it mowing grass, be it bringing plants to life, you know, your vegetable garden or whatever, turn that into your
Mm.
business, you know, and
Mm.
know that there is more than enough. There is more than enough seats at the table. There is more than enough resources. There is more than enough. And when you think like that, you won't even hold anybody back. You will want everybody to come with you because you know there is an abundance.
Ah.
There's an abundance. Yeah.
Oh my word. Motshidisi, thank you so much. I'm wishing you an amazing evening ahead and a week ahead, great week ahead. Keep shining, keep being
Thank
beautiful,
you.
keep being kick-ass like you are. And thank you for this beautiful conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. Mwah.
Bye.
Let me close.